I want you to imagine something. You're the president of France in 1975. Your economy runs on oil. But Saudi Arabia, the country with the most oil, will only accept one currency, American dollars. Not francs, not gold, dollars. So before you can buy oil, you first have to buy dollars from America. And where do those dollars come from? You sell your products to America or you borrow them. Every barrel of oil you import makes you more dependent on the American financial system. This wasn't an accident. This was the design. It began with a problem. In 1971, Richard Nixon did something that terrified the world. He ended the gold standard. For decades, the dollar's value was tied to gold. Any country could exchange their dollars for actual gold at a fixed rate. This made the dollar trustworthy. But America was spending too much on the Vietnam War and social programs. The gold was running out. So Nixon closed the window. Suddenly, the dollar was just paper. Its value was whatever people believed it was worth. And belief is fragile. The question became, how do you make the world keep using a currency that's no longer backed by anything? The answer came from a place no one expected, Saudi Arabia. In 1974, Henry Kissinger flew to Jeddah. The meeting was quiet. No cameras, no press conference. But the deal they made rewrote the global economy. Saudi Arabia would sell oil only in dollars. And in return, America would provide military protection, weapons, and a security guarantee. The Saudis would also take their dollar profits and invest them back into American government debt. They would buy treasury bonds. This meant that every country buying oil was also, indirectly, funding the American government. Think about what this created. If you're China and you want oil, you need dollars. So you sell products to America and accumulate dollars. Then you use those dollars to buy oil. But the Saudis take those same dollars and loan them back to America by buying treasury bonds. The money circulates, but it never leaves the system. America gets cheap oil, cheap imports, and cheap loans to fund its government, all because oil is priced in dollars. This is what we call the petrodollar system. It's not a currency, it's a structure, and it gave America something more valuable than gold, permanent demand for its currency. Even if you never trade with America, you need dollars to buy energy. This demand allowed America to print more money without causing inflation because the rest of the world was absorbing those dollars to buy oil. It allowed America to run massive budget deficits because other countries kept buying treasury bonds. It turned the dollar into the world's reserve currency, not by trust, but by necessity. Other oil producers followed. OPEC, the cartel of oil exporting nations, adopted the same model. By the 1980s, nearly all global oil trade happened in dollars. If you wanted to industrialize your country, build cities, power factories, you had no choice. You entered the dollar system. But here's the hidden cost. Countries that accumulated too many dollars faced a dilemma. If they sold them all at once, the dollar would crash and their own reserves would lose value. So they were trapped, holding dollars they couldn't fully escape. America, meanwhile, could borrow cheaply, spend heavily, and export inflation to the rest of the world. The system made American power invisible. It didn't look like an empire. It looked like a market. And now, that system is unraveling. In June 2024, Saudi Arabia chose not to renew the 50-year petrodollar agreement. They didn't make an announcement. They simply let it expire. Saudi Arabia now accepts yuan, euros, and other currencies for oil. China, the world's largest oil importer, has been trading oil in yuan since 2018. Russia, after being cut off from the dollar system through sanctions, is settling energy deals in rubles and rupees. The architecture is cracking. This doesn't mean the dollar collapses overnight. It means the automatic demand is fading. Countries no longer need to hold as many dollars. They can diversify. They can settle trade in their own currencies. And as that happens, America loses the ability to borrow cheaply and print without consequence. The privilege is ending. What comes next is not chaos. It's adjustment. A world where America is still powerful, but no longer exceptional. Where the dollar is important, but not inevitable. The system that gave America 50 years of unearned advantage is being quietly dismantled, not by war or revolution, but by the same countries that built it. And most people will never notice. They'll just see their currency, their savings, their purchasing power behave differently. And they won't know why. Because the petrodollar wasn't just about oil. It was about control. And control, once lost, doesn't come back.